My name is James Smith. I'm a 17-year-old Redford Union High School senior. I'm a part of the National Honor Society and the captain of the varsity swimming team, and I happen to be one of the co-drum majors for the Redford Union Marching Band. Last year I attended my first Parks and Rec meeting as a requirement for my 11th grade government class. It just so happens that when I went to this meeting, the craft park was an item on their agenda and it caught my attention. I have grown up at this park my whole life, skateboarding inside of the tennis courts with my brother and groups of friends. Over the years we have learned to share the tennis courts with the basketball players. They play on the west side of the fenced-in court and we play on the southeast side of the same fenced-in court. I would like to take a few minutes of your time to explain why I'm here. Recently, the Leisure Service Department sent out a letter looking for ideas for the craft park, specifically the fenced-in area that we skateboard and play basketball in, referred to as the tennis courts. There were two questions that I considered when thinking of ideas for the tennis court at Crafts Park. What would bring revenue to the Parks and Leisure Service, and what would bring revenue to the Township of Redford? The answer to these two questions are as different as the questions themselves. The answer to the first question would be another ball diamond. By adding another ball diamond to the park, it would provide options for teams and a solution for scheduling issues. But I would also imagine building a second ball diamond would cost a lot of money. The answer to the second question would be a skate park. By turning the existing tennis courts into a skate park, it would be another location Redford can advertise to potential and current residents in the north and south end of our township. This park would appeal to softball players, skateboarders, basketball players, and families with small kids because of the existing playground equipment too. I am here to talk to you about the greater good of Redford, turning the tennis courts into a skate park, course, and basketball court. According to an article I read on the benefits of public skate parks, a skate park is a place for young adults to interact with one another face-to-face rather than through social media. This interaction helps build social and interpersonal skills as well as an opportunity for young adults to feel like they belong to a group. Skateboarding is a unique activity because it combines extreme physical exertion with precise muscle coordination and balance. The complexity of performing tricks on a skateboard improves the brain function at a fundamental level and stimulates new cell growth in the brain. My interpretation of the statement is skateboarding is good for my mental health because it challenges my brain and body at the same time. When I first learned how to kickflip, it took me a couple of months. It's a skateboard maneuver in which you jump off the ground and the board rotates underneath you 180 degrees. I had to rewire my brain by teaching myself what to do with my body, jumping off the ground, flicking my foot off the board, watching it spin underneath me, seeing the grip tape, and then catching the board and riding away. For me, skateboarding is a stress reliever. I have a friend who has also told me that skateboarding helps with the depression. Having a skate park will give teens a safe place to go. If we had a skate park to go, we would not be in the streets interfering with traffic or somewhere we do not belong, such as businesses, churches, schools, and handicap-accessible areas. People would know where we would be. We would be in a fenced-in area with very open visibility. There is always a steady presence at a skate park, therefore it will discourage criminal and mischievous conduct that would occur at a more desolate area. Having a skate park in the north and south end of the city would attract people into our township. Skateboarding is an uprising sport that many people are starting to look into and see all the positive possibilities. Not to mention, having a skate park in both ends of the township would reduce damage to private property. Also, did you know that skate parks have a positive economic advantage because it tends to draw people in from the outskirts of the city and they tend to go to local stores while they are here. Skate parks help create diversity in our township because of all the different people coming in and out of our township. If we were to build another skate park, our township would become more competitive with the neighboring communities such as Livonia. Modern-day skate parks consist of rails, ledges, ramps, and stairs. They are essential to a skate park because it helps challenge skateboarders by taking their previously mastered skills to new terrain where they can try to master them again. This is a picture of Capitol Skate Park in Redford, Michigan. A rail is a raised metal bar that skateboarders grind or slide on. The one we currently use at Craft Park is approximately 6 feet long and about 12 inches off the ground. It is a piece of equipment that was homemade and is stored at whoever's house it was last used at. For this particular activity, it does not require much space and can easily be placed over a crack. I have seen ones like this in catalogs for $150 and up. Cost depends on the length and the shape. Ledges. Ledges are raised slabs with reinforced metal edges. Skateboarders jump on top of, grind, and slide on along these edges, perform tricks and jumps. Ledges would also provide somewhere for skateboarders to sit when they are not in use. The ledges you see here are from the Riley Skate Park in Farmington Hills and are made of concrete. More complex ledges are associated with modular units, like the one at Capitol Park, consisting of a flat corner box, grind rails, quarter pipes, and etc. Pricing depends on height, weight, and width of the ledge. Jumps. Our jumps are simply obstacles that skateboarders use to jump and perform tricks over. Please note in this photo that the crack in the pavement is holding the trash can in place for me to jump over. Jumps could be any number of pieces of equipment such as ramps or stairs. A good versatile height would be approximately 2 feet. When getting ready to perform this jump, we always line up alongside a specific crack that helps us gauge our distance and strategies. So my vision is to convert the existing fenced-in area into a skateboard course and basketball court. Even though us skateboarders have an established and unofficial favorite location for us to use, it would be so much more beneficial and safe if the equipment that we use was permanent and made of appropriate materials. I've seen some pretty crazy contraptions in the past that others have used to make do with, but by the next afternoon, the makeshift equipment was eventually removed by the Parks and Recs employees. Having permanent fixtures that we don't have to worry about getting stolen, broken, or even getting to the location would be in the best interest of us, motorists on the road, and the neighborhood. Let's talk about the current location and condition of the park. My friends and I have been skating here for as long as I could remember. We have always been appreciative of the spatial location too, because it's a nice area that is acceptable and close for all of our friends to get to. We like the fenced-in area because it defines our boundaries of where we should and should not skate. It keeps us safe and is easily identifiable. We skateboarders have been creative with the current conditions of the pavement. We actually use some of the poor surface area to hold our makeshift jumps and rails. We use some specific cracks in the area as starting points or targets for landing tricks. We have happily made do with what we have worked with in the past, but I think it would be great to eventually make things official. Over the last few years, us skateboarders and basketball players have come to an understanding that this space needs to be shared civilly by both groups. As a matter of fact, we are starting to enjoy each other's company and even join in the others' activities. Every day during the summer, the basketball players haul their equipment to the park. Most of the time they carry the equipment while walking down the center of the street, and every night they carry the equipment back home. I think it would be nice if they had permanent hoops too, that way they do not interfere with traffic at night and during the day. So now that I have shared my vision with you and given you some of the details of what a modular skate park looks like, I am asking that you please consider making a donation to my idea to help with the cost of the equipment. My thought process is that if I'm guaranteed this donation and present it with my presentation to the Bleacher Service Department and park commissioners, it would help persuade their decision to update this park using my suggestions. Adding another skate park in the north end of our township would be a great idea. It would benefit our township and the kids inside of our township. We would be able to become more competitive with neighboring communities and could bring in revenue to our city. We would also be able to provide another amenity for our people to enjoy. Thank you.